Next, I want to bring up Councilmember Gibson, who is a staunch supporter of this initiative, and also of connecting many of the organizations that are joining us today. So without further ado, Councilmember Gibson.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for joining us here. I am so thankful to be here with all of you in our annual Father's Pledge. I am Councilmember Vanessa Gibson of the 16th District. I am proud to represent the Boogie Down Bronx. And I am equally honored to serve as chair of the City Council Committee on Public Safety. Yes. And I want to thank my fantastic and amazing colleague, Councilmember Lori Combo, who leads this pledge every year. I want to thank Q and Connect and all of our community organizations, our pioneers and trailblazers and soldiers on the ground. Thank you for the work you do. While we stand here every day reaffirming our commitment to stand together as brothers and sisters against violence, we know the work you do every single day in our communities matters and it makes a difference. And I am so proud to stand here with you, making sure that we fight against violence upon anyone, our young ladies and our young men, fighting against street harassment that's imposed upon many of our young girls. And we recognize that we must, instead of the violence that's continuously in our neighborhoods, we want to promote a community and an environment of acceptance, of tolerance, of love, and peace. It sounds so simple, but yet so difficult to achieve. And in the month of June, we acknowledge and recognize it as Gun Violence Awareness Month because all of this, brothers and sisters, comes together. These are all ingredients that have to work together for that common goal. And that goal is to reduce violence in our communities, to save our children, and to make sure that our fathers are supported in the work that they're doing as role models in our communities. Too often, especially the criminal justice system, vilifies our men, and it sets them up on a cycle. The pipeline to prison is real. We are going to break down that cycle and break down those statistics and instead create success stories. Those obstacles will turn into opportunity. And as your council member, as someone who's always been with you in the trenches, I am so passionate about this. We don't just talk about it here at the council, but we put money where our commitment is. And the DOVE program, the initiative to end sexual assault, fighting against sexual assault on college campuses for our college students. We've put millions and millions of dollars to stop that cycle, but to also provide critical services and resources that we know are needed when you talk about violence. I must also tell you another ingredient that we need: summer jobs and youth employment, right? Yes. Our young people need to work. They need to be positively engaged. And number one, we need to change the choices that they have. A lot of our young people don't think they have choices, and a lot of our fathers don't believe they have choices. But we have to change that conversation. And every year we come together and solidify our commitment through this pledge. And I just want to assure all of you that you have a lot of friends at the City Council. We support you, we work with you, we walk with you, and we pray with you. Because at the end of the day, we're going to change the dynamic across this city. We're changing the conversation, we are stopping that cycle, and we are driving down those numbers. So I thank you all for being here. To all of my colleagues who are constantly here, you can't get rid of us, because until there is a day when we no longer have to stand here and reaffirm our commitment, we will continue to do the work that we have been called to do. So God bless you, and thank you once again to everyone, especially thank you Councilmember Lori Combo. I don't know how she does it, but she does. And so thank you all for being here, and I look forward to
Acknowledge Mary Havlin from the New York Central Salt Alliance. Susan Zanarios. All some staunch advocates for many, many years in this movement. I don't know if you all realize or know that this 7th annual Father's Day Pledge is has actually gone national about 3 years ago. And today, the council member Adam McFadden from Rochester, he's part of the national coalition of elected black officials, and they've made this pledge a national pledge. So this year is being done in 40 cities and 3 countries this year. This is an initiative that started right here in New York City 7 years ago. So give yourselves a round of applause.
That's how powerful this message is. That's right.
So we have representing Councilmember McFadden, Gina Cruz, who's a super activist and organizer of upstate New York and Rochester. So without further ado, Gina Cruz.
Adam is not able to attend today, but between him and the mayor of the city of Rochester, they wanted to send a little token of love. Quentin came to me many years ago in 2007, and we worked on getting engaged in the workplace initiative that is going on in Rochester. Since then, we have been totally committed to keeping up with one another, staying active in the fight for domestic violence. Okay, when there is something wrong, we call each other. I met Sally recently, and I fell in love with her as well. But to me, this is a privilege to be able to be here finally on this day. Because 3 years ago, he said, I need Adam McFadden because I need to take this lesson. Like a jungle cat. And sure enough, I did not have to hesitate. I did not have to say more than one word, but I need you, Adam. Okay? And that's what happened. When I said I need you, he said, what do you need? And I said, I need this pledge to go national. And that's what we did. The first year that we did it, it hit 20 cities and 2 countries. And now we're up to 40 in 3 countries, right? So on behalf of the mayor of the city of Rochester, Mayor Leslie Warren, okay, and City Councilman Adam McFadden, for all that you believe, okay, she wanted to send you a token. Continue doing what you're doing because you are truly making a difference. As a survivor, I appreciate all the work that you do.
So this is, I really appreciate this, and thank you, Gina. Thank you, Councilman McFadden. But that belongs to all of us here today. That belongs to New York City Council. I want to acknowledge Councilmember Jumaane Williams, who's working on this intersection of gun and gang violence and domestic violence here today as well. Without further ado, I want to bring up Brother Juan Ramos. Juan and I have started this work together many years ago. I'm not going to date us. This is a pure example of someone who has done work with abusive partners, men who are abusive in their relationships, and also men, primarily men, who are working in communities to end gun and gang violence. So without further ado, my brother, Juan Ramos. Juan represents SOS Bed-Stuy and Community-Driven Solutions.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, rather. Good morning. As Q said, he and I have been working on this issue for over 20 years. In those 20 years, we've also done a lot around violence in our communities, not just in intimate partner violence. What I will say is, though, that although I believe strongly in accountability toward our brothers for their abuse toward women, that we also have to find a place of compassion for our brothers, because little do we know that the same brother that we're holding accountable for the domestic violence offenses could be the father or could be the person committing that community violence in our communities as well. And the reason I say that is because we see that through our work. Through many of the young people that we work with, we see that the place where they learn violence first is in their homes. The place where they embrace it is their community. And the only way that we're going to combat that is by finding the resources necessary to deal with the trauma that they go through at home and in their communities, both as victims and perpetrators. Now, because we ask for accountability doesn't mean that we can't be compassionate and loving to our brothers. And we have to make room and leave room to do that. So what I'm here to do today is pledge with all of you to find a way to talk about accountability, but find that compassion and find that space to do the work that's necessary, especially with our brothers, because I guarantee you that male-to-male violence against women, and we have to see it for what it is. If our sisters could have done it on their own, we wouldn't be standing here today.
That's right.
They need us to stop standing on the sidelines and join them in the effort to end violence against women and girls. We can't leave girls out of it. Girls start at an early age receiving some of the harassment and some of the violence by us men in the communities, and we need to begin there, educating our youth around the issue. So I'm not going to go on long. I just want to say that I'm here to stand with all of you and to say that community violence and domestic violence are more joined at the hip than you can believe. And that's why we need to stand together and find the intersections and where we can bring those resources together to give our community a bigger chance at getting rid of domestic violence and gun violence and gang violence in our communities. Thank you.
Without further ado, I'd like to bring up Councilmember Jumaane Williams.
Yeah, Jumaane!
What's up, everybody? I want to thank Councilmember Cumbo and Councilmember Gibson for doing this. I'm sorry I can't stay. I haven't missed a year since it started. It's a very important event for me. I'm proud that each year it seems I see more and more men coming. So I want to give a hand clap myself for the men that are coming. Talk about intimate partner violence. It's important that we use the word intimate partner because we know there are a lot of types of partners that are being harmed, but we can't get past the fact that the vast majority are women, and too often it is viewed as a women's issue when it's really not. Even if it was, it deserves to be raised, but we know it's not. It's about families, it's about children, it's about entire communities, and I'm glad the brother said how important it is for the men to be involved to help out here. And so I try to make sure I come as many times as possible to play my part as a male to deal with this issue. And I'm glad to see there's so many other men here as well to deal with that, standing side by side, our sisters, and providing the help that is needed for this particular issue. And I'm glad that they're combining gun violence with domestic violence. We unfortunately know there's a gun involved. It multiplies the amount that a woman may be killed, and we saw that the past week, and it's a story that's being played over and over, and people are pretending that it's not connected, and there are things that we shouldn't do about it. So I'm very proud of this pledge. I'm excited about it. This brother's been doing this work for so long, so I want to say thank you to him. But we got to keep moving and keep pushing and make sure this is not ignored. I see the stories, and then it's funny, the next day, it's like nothing happened. There was a woman shot in the head at the park. I saw, I think, one day story on it, and I didn't hear anything after. Came to me at work, and was like, I just want to talk. Shot on the head, watching the phone with my boyfriend. That's absolutely ridiculous, and we have to continue to bring his attention to these cases, and I'm glad that the council members are, and I'm glad you are, and anything I can do to continue to support that, I will. Thank you very much.
Thank you.